approximately 6:24 on yesterday evening, Mr. Fortner was attacked by Edward Cherry. He was stabbed multiple times. It is certainly under investigation, but he, unfortunately, Mr. Fortner succumbed to his injuries. What you see before you is a piece of the Fulton County Jail that was fashioned. It is one thing for us to keep contraband out. It is another thing for thousands and thousands of homemade knives, shanks, to be created and fashioned from the building.
I've never ever heard of it either. I didn't do anything but voice my voice. That's why we are the voice for the voiceless. I spoke up. I spoke out about the incidents and the things that are happening right now in this jail. So I received a phone call last night pertaining to an inmate that had, at their words, gutted, and received some information and some pictures of some things that was going on. Also received the information about the cleanup from the inmates, and immediately contacted those that's fighting. My whole thing about the situation is, as much time that you took out to go in, put a protective order against me, is the same amount of energy you should have used to make sure that these inmates had the right protection. He said on his interview today that it was staff, right? There was only one staff, and she wasn't even on the floor of where the inmate was stabbed at.
Specifically, there was one officer roaming the floor and a tower officer in place. That is something we work with the Board of Commissioners on, to get a third-party contractor in here, train them, and put them on duty. So we were literally minutes away from the actual attack on into reactive mode.
I can't even think or fathom that. You know, you imagine your loved one being murdered, because at this point, that's what that is. You imagine them being murdered and someone tampering with the murder scene. First and foremost, no one have ever been able to tamper, other than the forensic that's dealing with the body directly, is supposed to touch the body or touch anything around the body. So that wasn't even their job. That shouldn't have even been something that they were even a task that they were given. Absolutely. And this is from the information that is given directly from inside. Roughly around six-ish, I'm gonna give it that. I'm not for sure about the direct time. Have to look at my phone to see when I received the text messages that started coming in from the jail that was alerting me that it had taken place. I feel like it was an attack. I feel like that it is to silence me during the election because of the information that I am putting out to the people, that there is factual information that is going out. It is coming directly from his table, and he is upset about it. But that's not the way that you go about it. If you have something that is being said about you, like one of the attorneys had said on the previous interviews, get tougher skin or don't become a sheriff, because right now is not the time for us to play friends. Right now is for us the time for us to do what's right for our community, and he is not the man for the job. He has let the community down. Like I said, on many occasions, I went door to door to get him in, and now I'm going to go door to door to get him out. And the same energy that I applied to get him in is the same amount of energy plus more to take him out.
It's beyond time that the members of the BOC understand this and take note of the dangerous circumstances which I have been yelling from the rooftop since taking office in January 1st of 2021. It is time that we prioritize human lives. Let me be clear. I'm the Fulton County Sheriff. And as Sheriff, it is my responsibility to operate the Fulton County Jail. I humbly accepted this responsibility in January of 2021, along with many committed staff members who come and face this every day.
So when you speak on that, then you go to the inmate welfare funding, where he was able to come in and have some funding. But he took that inmate welfare funding and he decided to buy cars. He decided to buy $40,000 in Chick-fil-A gift cards. He decided to, he even spent over $60,000 in locks. That right now, that's what they're saying about the inmate was not on lockdown during the time. Why wasn't the doors locked when you paid $60,000 for locks? So when you say you don't have the funding, when you say you're not, the Board of Commissioner is not giving you something that you had and you abused, what are you saying to the inmates?
I was hurt a couple of weeks ago when the board voted to end double overtime for our team members. I was hurt a couple of weeks ago when the board voted to end recruitment sign-in bonuses. I was hurt a couple of weeks ago when the Board of Commissioners voted to turn down state-funded money, free money, to help improve the services that we can provide here at the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
Because you had the funding and you decided not to do what you were supposed to do with the funding, and now you expect for them to give you more funding because you got over 8 to 9 people around your house. You got 3 people that follow you around, but you're saying that you need a protective order. How are all these things taking place? I'm not a terrorist threat to him. So the people that he have around him, securing him right now, is enough people to make sure that nothing happens to him. I was never threatening him. I threatened his job. I said that I was coming after your job, and that is not against the law. We get a call every day about our inmates. Another one by an inmate named Mr. Wallace. He called, his father called us rather, and his name is Joel. And he was telling us about an incident that was going on with his son being next door to the gentleman, Mr. LaShawn Thompson, that had died from bed bugs. And so we immediately called Dr. Rashad Ritchie and had him removed from the room and changed over to another room. But in the process of that, he caught an infection from the bugs and was rushed to the emergency room. Once again, we had to call in Dr. Rashad Ritchie to have them get him up off of the floor because they were threatening to tase him from what he was saying to us, that he could not barely walk, he couldn't move, he was sick. When they rushed him to the hospital, he had an infection from the bed bugs and from all of the feces and things that were going on inside of the jail. We're not just saying, oh, we don't want this sheriff because we have personal issues. These issues are from the inmates directly, from the guards that are often here that are tired of coming to work scared, tired of coming to work not knowing if today is going to be their last night. One of them, that could have been a guard last night. This gentleman had a knife that was formed by something in the jail. That could have been a guard because there wasn't enough guards here to help him if the inmates decided to attack a guard.
It's something undoubtedly we have to focus on. And I remind people, when we took office as an administration, we had 3,700 people sleeping and 600 of them sleeping on the floor. Today we have 2,800 individuals and none of them sleeping on the floor. We had to do an audit that showed that thousands of doors themselves were inoperable. Not only locks, that the county prior to our administration spent $5 million on, locks not working, toilets not working. That's something that we as a sheriff's office shouldn't have to do. But focusing on mental health is something we absolutely have to put in the front of the conversation. And with that, one of the things that has been unfunded, if you will, shortly after several tragedies, we started an initiative that would, on our mental health floor, led by Captain Cherry, every 2 weeks we did clinical cleaning. It was funded initially by the Board of Commissioners and unfunded in this particular budget cycle. And so those things matter.